be like. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Beautiful job, Lexi.
Everyone, and welcome to historic Spartan Stadium. Tony Lavender, along with his own sports team, set to bring you tonight's home opener for the Notre Dame Titans as they play host to the Manchester Greyhounds. This is the 7th time that these two schools have met since Manchester restarted their football program. And since 2008, the Titans are 6-0 against the Greyhounds. But things have started in an interesting way for the Greyhounds, coached by Scioto County native and product of Wheelersburg High School, Dustin Cook, as Manchester started off last week with a 52-0 drubbing of the Green Bobcats, while Notre Dame found themselves on the short end of a 27-0 score to Racine Southern. So it should be interesting as things come about tonight. You've got Dustin Cook and his Greyhounds at 1-0, the Titans at 0-1. Our pregame tonight will feature the starting lineups, and we'll have those for you when we return right after this.
Advance 360 brings care to the next level after your hospital stay. Recover in luxury in your private suite. Stay connected, relax, and focus on healing and getting back home. Advance 360 is Portsmouth's premier post-hospital rehabilitation destination. Contact your healthcare provider to reserve your private recovery suite today. Located on the campus of Bridgeport Healthcare, a proud member of the Communicare family of companies.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. A night that looks like weather is going to threaten to play a part in things, as we started with a sunny, very, very hot late afternoon. And since we have been at the stadium about 2 hours prior to game time, the clouds have moved in, coming in a counterclockwise pattern indicating the low pressure area. And it looks like we could end up having a few raindrops falling on our heads before things get underway. High school football on the zone, sent your way by King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, and our national anthem that you just saw, presented by Nancy Hawk and the folks at Real Estate Gallery Incorporated. Notre Dame won the toss and elected to defer, so Manchester will defend the south goal and receive. So starting off for Notre Dame on offense tonight, since we'll see Manchester's offense first, let's tell you who's going to be starting for Coach Bob Ashley's Titans. At the tackles, it'll be 6'2", 240-pound senior Charlie Eichenlob and 5'11", 180-pound junior Will Mays. The guards will be C.J. Smith. He's 6'2", 190, and a senior. And Tyler Spees, 6'2", 225 pounds. Tyler is just a freshman. At the center, kicking things off for Notre Dame, will be Aaron Basler. Basler, 6 foot tall, 165 pounds, and he is a sophomore. The tight end is Tyson Montgomery, 6'2", 175 pounds, senior. The receiving core, the wingback Michael Collins, 6 foot tall, 175 pound junior, and Isaiah Johnson, 5'11", 155 pound sophomore. In the backfield, the fullback Sam Kaiser, 5'8", 140 pound sophomore, and Hayden Phillips, 5'8", 140 pound senior. Calling the shots and taking the snaps will be 5'9" senior John Major, who weighs in at 185 pounds. Last week, he did not get a chance to toss a pass for Notre Dame. So we will see what happens tonight. Those are your starters on offense for Notre Dame. We will be back to give you the defensive starters for Manchester when we return right after this.
Atomic Credit Union has been serving Southern Ohio since 1955. With 11 different locations, our friendly staff is here to help you with all your financial needs. From loans to checking accounts, online services, and extended hours, Atomic Credit Union is your full-service financial institution. Check out our website at www.2mycu.com or call us at 1-800-652-2328 to learn about the benefits of an Atomic Credit Union membership.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. Tonight's game almost set to go between the Manchester Greyhounds visiting the Notre Dame Titans here at historic Spartan Stadium. And the defensive starters tonight for the Greyhounds at the nose guard, it'll be 5'10", 205 pound senior Nick Hoskins. The defensive tackles, Tommy Denning, 5'10", 250 pound senior, and Austin Collins, 5'10", 200 pound sophomore. At the linebackers, Brian Young, 6 foot tall, 175 pound sophomore. Jeff Young, 6'2", 215 pound junior. 6'1", 225 pound senior Jordan Franklin. And 6 foot tall, 210 pound sophomore Arturo Hernandez. The cornerbacks, Chase Darnell, 6 foot tall, 165 pound sophomore, and Daniel Hernandez, 5'10", 165 pound junior. And the free safety is Levi Francis, 5'10", 155 pound senior. So across the front, it's Collins, Hoskins, and Denning. The linebackers, Young, Franklin, and Hernandez. The corners, Darnell and Hernandez. And the safety is Francis. Those are your starters on defense tonight for the Manchester Greyhounds, who, as I mentioned, come in with a record of 1-0 under first-year head coach Dustin Cook. So that pretty much sets things up, and we're about ready to go, waiting for the arrival of the teams. Manchester has come out onto the field, and it looks like Notre Dame is just about ready to come out. We'll watch the Titans enter the field, then pause for a commercial, and then be back with the opening kickoff for tonight's game. So as we look over to our north, we see the Titans getting ready, and they will be entering the field right about now.
The Battery Terminal King Chip Womack has made a proclamation announcing the appointment of his new court jester, Will. While Chip is still paying top dollar for old batteries, Jester Will is paying in gumballs when he's in the office.
Hey, West Portsmouth, do you know that Minix Giovanni's has the best pizza in town?
8584493.
There you see the Manchester Greyhounds. They'll be in the white uniform shirts, blue pants, and blue headgear. Notre Dame will be in the dark blue jerseys, the gold football pants, and the gold headgear. Notre Dame will be kicking off from your left to your right as they deferred on the having won the opening toss. And Manchester will be coming out with their backs to the south goal. As they go back there, the kickoff returning specialists for Manchester, we will give you a look and see who they're going to send back there tonight. But as they start, they'll start on offense, and a quick rundown of who will be out there for them. Freeman is the quarterback. The running backs are Brandon Souders, Levi Francis, and Brian Young. The wide receivers, Chase Darnell and Arturo Hernandez. And as we look down onto the field, Manchester is set to go, and back there for them, ready to receive, is Conley Hunter. And back also Brian Young. The kick is on its way, and it's going to be taken by Brian Young about the 23-yard line. He's going to move up to the right side and get an opening. Heading down by his bench, he gets open, and he is tripped up. That slows him down a little bit, and he is tackled about the 2-yard line, and a flag thrown on the tackle, probably a horse collar. You can see Manchester celebrating after a great return that time by Brian Young. Young probably got, they say face mask, not a horse collar, so that's going to be half the distance to the goal line. Young got tripped up about the 35-yard line of Notre Dame. That slowed him down some, but as you can see, Manchester is already knocking on the door. They won last week over the Green Bobcats 52-0. And as they come out, Freeman will be the quarterback as he will set. He scored 2 touchdowns last week, 56 yards each on running plays. They did not throw the ball last week at all. Under center, back in the backfield, he will take it. And the Titans come up and catch him pretty quick, a loss of maybe 1 on that play. As Smith on top of that one, and the loss will make it 2nd and goal from about the 4-yard line as Notre Dame hangs tight there on that one. Freeman, number 5, 6 foot tall, 170-pound junior, is setting things up, and he will call as he's got one back behind him, and he's going to keep the ball on the fake to that man, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield.
Number 52.
Moving in quickly for Notre Dame that time was Aaron Basler. And Basler will knock him down in the backfield, and now it's going to be 3rd and goal from about the 8-yard line for Manchester. Starting off with a great kickoff return. And starting this drive off from the Notre Dame 2. And now they are 3rd and goal from about the 9-yard line. So the Greyhounds finding themselves in a little bit of a problem there. And he will call. Freeman will take it, fake it, roll right. He's going to be chased and knocked. Well, he tosses it at the sideline. And I don't know who exactly was in the area, but he gave it a fling. Pretty good arm there. That's the first pass that Manchester has thrown. So now it'll be 4th down and goal for Manchester. What you just saw there, folks, was the very first pass of the season for Manchester. Notre Dame would have a real morale booster coming here if they can get 1st and goal on the 2 on the very first scrimmage of the game and hold down here. Notre Dame will stand in. Manchester is there. Back in motion is Young. He sets, and Freeman keeps, and he drives. I think he is going to be stopped. And Notre Dame holds, as in there on the bottom of things was Aaron Basler again. And Notre Dame holds, so Manchester loses the ball on downs and loses a great opportunity. And here with 10 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the first quarter, Notre Dame will get the ball on their own 2 and have a 98-yard field in front of them to see what they can do something with. Titans will come up. John Major will be the quarterback, and he's going to be under center. Puts a man in motion, and he's going to give to that man. That's Collins. Collins still on his feet, out across the 10, 14, 15. So it's going to be enough for a 1st down for Collins as he sets things off on the right foot for Notre Dame here in this home opener. High school football on the zone presented to you by King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio. Our kickoff always brought to you by FalconOne.net, Minford Telephone, and Minford TV, longtime sponsors here on the zone. Major puts another man in motion, and he gives to the motion man again. And moving out that way goes Phillips. He's got some room on the right across the 30 as he's dragged down, and there is a flag on the tackle as he's brought down over there for Manchester by Levi Francis.
And we have 2 flags.
And a nice pickup for Phillips. A hold is going to be called against Notre Dame, and a face mask against Manchester, offsetting penalties.
We will play first down over.
So we'll have a do-over this time.
Notre Dame.
That'll take it back to the 17-yard line. We have 9:52 to go here in quarter number 1.
First down from about the 18-yard line.
High school football on the zone sent your way by Advanced 360, by ADS Auto and Tire, and by attorney Eddie Edwards. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there as well. Way out to the right-hand side goes Isaiah Johnson. And again, they're going to go with Collins. Collins right side, cuts the corner, gets a block and gets a couple of yards, but he is going to be pushed back. And a flag after the tackle again. And another flag, second flag. Rick Merb came armed with 2 flags that time.
Mason Ballou. We have once again flags on the play.
Shooting with both guns there. One after the tackle and one after they got up. So I'm sure we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct against Manchester.
We have a personal foul against
personal
Manchester
foul.
Greyhounds and an unsportsmanlike conduct
So
penalty
2.
against the Greyhounds.
That's going to knock
So
it
once
out there,
again, we
about
will
a
have
half a
first
mile down the
down,
field.
And that will be about a 30-yard penalty.
So 2 separate fouls. Unsportsmanlike conduct and personal foul knocks off 30 yards, and Notre Dame has advanced into the Manchester end of the
The
field.
ball will be set down
Following
just outside
Philip or
the 40-yard
Collins'
line
big
at the
gain.
41, where
So
Notre
another
Dame
first
will have
down
a
for Notre
first
Dame.
down.
Notre Dame already with 2 first downs to their credit on this drive. They started on their own 2. They're now on the 41-yard line of the Greyhounds. Officials making sure that things are under control here. And Major will put a man in
Johnny
motion.
Majors takes
That
the
is
handoff
Phillips.
and gives it back to number 2.
And quickly in there, Kaiser is stopped
Tim
pretty
Kaiser.
quick. Maybe a loss of 1
There was
on
a
that
loss
play.
of 1 yard on that play. It will now be second down.
So it'll be second
11,
down and 11 yards
about
to go
the
for
42
Notre
and a
Dame.
half. Mason Ballou was the Manchester
And
Greyhounds.
Notre Dame will come up now. Still, considering they started on their own 2, things not going too bad there. They move Montgomery over to the right-hand side. They put Phillips in motion. They're going to pitch to him, and the ball's on the ground. Looks like it's going to be picked up, and it is picked up by Manchester, and there you see it in the hands of Nick Hoskins.
By the Manchester Greyhounds, number 70.
Hoskins recovers the fumble, and the drive that Notre Dame began and has carried out so successfully just that quickly. The fortunes change at 8:46 here in the first quarter. Manchester gets the ball back. They've got the ball on their own, just outside their own 45-yard line, and a real quick turn of fortunes there for the Greyhounds and the Titans. Roles reversed rather quickly. So Freeman is going to get his club up there. He'll drop the throw, and he's going to be hit in the backfield once, twice, has one of his own men knocked back into him, and in there hard on him that time for Notre Dame, and coming in hard were several of the Titans, including on that one was Hayden Baker, who really put the big grab on him, made the wrap. Now it'll be second down and about 18 yards to go
18 yards
for the Greyhounds.
from the Greyhound 30.
Ball sitting on the 37-yard line. They have to get to the Notre Dame 45, just a shade past it. And inside, nothing doing there. Nowhere on that one, and Notre Dame quickly in on that. Amongst the tacklers that time for Notre Dame included Grant Sparks.
Play by number 33, Hunter Harrell.
And so now it'll be third down and about 19 to go.
Loss of about 1 yard.
So the Greyhounds are going in a negative direction here on this drive that began on their own 45-yard line. Jordan Freeman is the quarterback, and he was making instructions and got snapped while he was talking to one of his receivers. The ball got snapped early, and Freeman got hit in the gut with it. And that was a miscommunication between the center and the quarterback. And now it's going to be fourth down for Manchester.
About 24 yards to go.
Freeman is the punter. He's going to be standing on his own 20-yard line. Stepping back for Notre Dame will be
Freeman is doing the punting. We've got
Johnson.
6, Isaiah Johnson.
At mid-depth there is Collins. Also back there for Notre Dame is Lansing. Freeman is going to take it and run with it. He's up to the line of scrimmage and still on his feet. He is hit by one, hit by two, and then downed over there. He's nowhere close to the first down as Freeman took off running. Last week he got two 56-yard runs. And so Notre Dame takes over on downs as Manchester goes for the gamble on the fake punt, and it proves to be not viable for him. And so Notre Dame will now take over with 6:33 to go in this first quarter of play. We have no score, as you can see on your scoreboard there, but they have the ball in great field position on the Manchester 41, about where they lost it on the fumble. Going to the right is Collins, and Collins is going to be hit in the backfield and knocked for a big loss. On his case over there that time for Manchester was Mason Bellew.
Manchester 47-yard line where it will be.
So a loss of about 5 or 6 on that one, make it second down and 15.
It was holding against Notre Dame. It is declined by the Manchester Greyhounds. So again, that brings up
And of course they get a loss of about that much
16 yards.
without having to give them the down over. So it'll be second down and about 15 or 16 as opposed to first down and 20. Titans come up, trips left is the way the things look right now. And the give straight ahead and driving forward is Collins. Collins on his feet gets back to about the original line of scrimmage and maybe just a shade more. So that'll make it third down and 10 yards to go. Notre Dame on the Manchester end of the field. The ball on the 41-yard line. High school football on the zone sent your way by Bob and Floyd's Tire Service, by Brian Davis for Scioto County Commissioner, by Dan Cassidy and all those good folks at Barron and Murphin Insurance, and by the Atomic Credit Union all over Zone Country. And trying the right side this time, Brandon Lansing finds no joy over there, and once again we find a team facing a fourth down situation. So the Manchester Greyhounds lost their first series on downs. Notre Dame lost on a fumble. Manchester lost on downs. And now Notre Dame finds themselves facing a fourth down and 10 to go. And Notre Dame will try the punt and see what they can do, as Lansing will be standing about his own 48-yard line to receive the kick.
The deep man for Manchester is Jordan Freeman.
And the kick is a low but long one that's going to go out of bounds about the 8 or 9 yard line. So Notre Dame made a good choice on that one.
Around the 10-yard line.
And they will give Manchester the ball following the Notre Dame punt in not great field position. So Manchester has been playing all over the field. They got their first series started on the 2-yard line. Now they're going to say that it actually crossed the plane of the sideline about the 12. So Manchester on their own 12 with 4:53 to go. We are in quarter number 1. And Manchester's out quickly. They want to go without much fanfare here.
Up to the press box.
And Freeman sets his team. 2 backs behind him, split ends on either side, plus a second man on the left, and a big heave behind the defense, but the ball falls short,
And the ball falls
and having to
incomplete.
come back
Isaiah
and try to
Johnson,
grab
number
that
6 for
baby.
Notre Dame, was back on the coverage.
Not much in the way of
It was intended for number 32, Brian Young.
much help that
will
way
now
on
bring
the
up
throw.
second down
Brian
and 10 for
Young
the
was down
Manchester
about the
Greyhounds.
42 or 3 behind the defender. And he had to come back to get that ball. So Manchester, who did not throw at all last week, has lofted it up there a couple of times tonight to no avail up to this point. So Freeman
back in
puts
the
a man
shotgun.
in motion. That's Young. And Freeman
Number
keeps
5,
it.
Bert
He's on
Freeman
his
on
way.
keeper up the
He's
middle.
out of there. He makes a nice stop, but somebody comes up from
back
behind
and
him and catches
dropped
him.
by
And moving in
number
quickly
5,
from
Hayden
behind to
Brock,
catch
and
him was
number
Hayden
1,
Phillips.
Hayden Phillips, but he gets the ball all the way out to the 44-yard
And so they faked to the man in motion. That was Young.
First down from the 44-yard
And Freeman,
line.
who had 2 56-yard touchdown scampers last week. Last week, Manchester 313
Timeout is
yards
taken by the
rushing.
Manchester
And
Greyhounds.
before we go any further, with 4:37 to go in the
Don't
first quarter,
forget
there's
to visit
timeout
our
on the field.
concession stand
No
under
score.
the
Back
stadium
after this.
for some delicious Gaddy.
Great hit for a home run. Anybody can hit a home run with Bent River Insurance.
Since 1922, Barrett and Murphy Insurance, along with State Auto Insurance, have been hitting home runs in the Scioto County area, offering a full line of insurance products, auto, home, business, and life insurance. Give us a call or stop by our office to let one of our dedicated staff help you with all your insurance needs. Barrett and Murphy Insurance.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. There you see the Manchester Greyhounds looking for some consultative advice from Coach Dustin Cook.
Tonight's challenge was accepted by Mrs.
And
Kemp herself. So
the
she will be
Greyhounds
taking the challenge,
are set.
and I do believe that's
As
to
we
happen
come out,
around
it'll be a
halftime.
first down and 10 yards to go. As Freeman picks up
As we're back to the game,
out to the
the Greyhounds have a first
44-yard
down
line.
at the 44-yard line.
He's got wingmen in the slot on either side, actually, and he keeps it and gets up through the center and is hit hard up through there. And a big
Hard
whack
tackle
being
made.
put on him there for Notre Dame that
By
time
number 52, Aaron Basler.
by Basler.
Brian
Pickup of
Young
about 4 or
was the ball
5.
carrier for the
Almost
Greyhounds.
looked to
That
me
is
like
gain
he
of
was
4
somewhat
yards. It is now
confused.
second down and 6.
Basler there you see in the center of your camera is the one that made the stop, knocked his shoulder pad a little bit. But it almost looked to me like Jordan Freeman was somewhat confused at what was going on in his backfield. And we have wings on either side again and split ends on either side. And as they head to the right side, here they go with Hernandez.
Daniel Hernandez, the ball carrier, tackled by a handful
And that'll bring
of
up a
Notre
third
Dame
down
Titans over
situation.
on the Manchester
You're watching high school
sideline.
football on the zone, sent
It
your
now
way
is
by
third
Donnie
down,
Martin,
and
Heating and
still
Cooling,
looks like a little
by
bit of a
Goodwill,
chance to go for a Manchester
by
first
Gutter
down.
Pro, and by Jackpot Skilled Stop Games. Glad to have you with us here on the
Freeman
zone
back
tonight.
in at
Notre Dame
quarterback for Manchester.
searching for their first win. Manchester trying to go 2-0. Same formation. And fake
Freeman
and a
passing
toss.
downfield, ball is incomplete.
And incomplete as they were heading over there looking for Chase Darnell. And Darnell not able to get a hold of that, and so it'll be fourth down
This will bring up
and about
fourth down
6 to go.
and
Last
a
time that
long
Manchester had a fourth down, you remember Freeman
six.
ran
We have
for it.
Jordan Freeman back to punt.
He is their punter, and he also has some fleet feet.
Michael Collins is back. Isaiah Johnson.
Collins and
Brandon
Johnson
Lansing.
and Lansing back
Notre
for
Dame.
the Titans. The deep ones standing on about their 25. There's the punt. It's not very high, and it's going to be taken on the
Isaiah
fly
Johnson takes the punt. He's
and
headed up
moving
the
out to the
sideline
right, the
and
left side rather,
tackled at the 40-yard line by number 13.
and
Brandon
stopped
Saunders.
over there
Nice
as Lansing
return by
picks up a
Isaiah
few.
Johnson. Notre Dame will take over the ball.
Oh, Isaiah
First
Johnson,
down from
excuse
the
me. 8 and 6
40-yard
look a
line.
lot alike. And that was Johnson. As now it'll be first and 10 to go for Notre Dame as Manchester punts
3 minutes.
with
to go
3:07
still
to
in the
play
first
here in this ball game.
quarter. Score is 0-0.
No score. Actually, we're in the first quarter of this ball game. as Notre Dame will have the ball on their own 40-yard line.
Notre Dame first down from the 40-yard line.
And Major is still in under center. Again, the man in motion, and
Ball
he's going to
handed
give
off to
inside.
number 12, Michael Collins.
And Collins will get
He
out to
holds
about
for
the
about
45-yard
5
line
yards
before
to
he's
the
brought down over there.
45-yard line.
One of the first to hit him on that side for
Second down and
Manchester
about 5.5.
was Mason Beaulieu.
Tackle was made by number 10, Arturo Hernandez.
And a pickup of about
Number
3
6,
for the Titans. And so with second down to go, Notre Dame will come popping out with 2.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter of action. Way out to the left-hand side goes Johnson. In motion again goes Phillips. And Collins is going to try the left side, and he's going to get maybe 2 or 3. Going to drag several of the Greyhounds with him. That's going to make it now about third down and maybe 2 to go. 1.5 or 2 yards to go.
It'll be Notre Dame's ball, third down and 2 yards to go.
They're still on their end of the field, just shy of midfield by 2 yards. Titans coming up. There's a wing in close on the left and a split end on the left, and Collins goes in motion, and they give inside. They're going to come up short on that one. Falling forward by about a foot or 2.
Gain of about
depending on where they place the ball, but it was definitely short of the stick as Kaiser unable to pick that one up. It'll be fourth down for Notre Dame. And the Titans looking for their first score of the season. And as they come in, they will put the foot to it.
Brandon Lansing back to punt.
Lansing will put a foot to it. And finally someone drops back for Manchester.
Levi Francis.
And the kick is a line driver that takes a Notre Dame roll down inside the 10. And once again, that same side of the field, it goes out of bounds. This time it'll be inside the 10, about the 8-yard line. So Lansing again plops a good punt down there and puts Manchester deep in the hole with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. They'll have the ball on their own 8-yard line. High school football on the zone is sent your way by the Glockner family of dealerships, by H. Powell Insurance, and by our good friends at Minford Telephone and TV. Thanks to our sponsors for bringing you this ball game tonight. Manchester Greyhounds. Freeman is the quarterback. As they set, he's going to have no setup that he's going to like, so they're going to call timeout. So there's timeout on the field with 1 minute and 5 to play in the first quarter. Back after this.
At Desco, we believe loans to small businesses result in stronger communities. We believe the experience and ability to make local decisions awards you the home field advantage. We believe quick decisions and straightforward answers are what you need to get started. At Desco, we have terms to fit your business. Desco Federal Credit Union. We make business loans.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. There you see the Greyhounds getting some instructions. No score in this ball game with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. Manchester will have the ball first and 10 on their own 8-yard line. Since restarting football, Manchester has been playing Notre Dame since 2008. They are 0-6 in their previous attempts. As I would have thought the lights would have been on a little sooner, but the lights are just now coming on here at Spartan Stadium. As we've been pretty dark because the ball is loose and close to the goal line. That's twice tonight that Manchester has had a problem on the exchange between the center and the quarterback. Notre Dame is on top of it at about the 1-yard line. Freeman unable to get a hold of it. And twice tonight, Manchester has had a real problem with that center quarterback exchange. And so Notre Dame now has an opportunity to put their first score of the season on the till.
But it'll be Notre Dame's ball from the 1 yard
Notre
line.
Dame with
First and goal.
on the 1 yard line.
Major will bring 'em up to the line.
We have 53 seconds to go here in the quarter. And Notre Dame will set. Major will call and take it himself and move to his right. Looks like he is in. Touchdown Notre Dame. With 51 and 2/10 seconds to go, John Major, a 1 yard run as he goes off to the right of his center, Aaron Basler, and takes it in with some good firing out by the Notre Dame line, and Notre Dame scores their first touchdown of the season.
It's Notre Dame's first touchdown of the season.
The 2 seconds involved in scoring that, a 1 yard, 1 play drive. And they will see if they can get their first extra point of the year tacked on here now. The kick is up, it's low, and good. So just barely clearing the crossbar, the kick is good, and as we come back up the field with less than a minute to go in the first quarter, Notre Dame leads Manchester 7-0. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
You walk in, they have a big smile on their face, and it's genuine. It's not fake, and I hate fake, and it's just really nice. And
it's just an experience that they've got this customer service down to a science. And like I say, you're talking to a guy for the last 20 years has been in sales and knows how customer service is supposed to work. Glockner's has got it down to a science.
You feel special when you walk in. You feel special.
They're commercials that are not lying when they make it easy.
There's Manchester. They just kind of got shocked a wee bit, as for the second time tonight, they have had a bad exchange on the center quarterback pass, and the ball rolled down to within the shadow of the goal. Notre Dame fell on top of it, and Major took the ball in on the offensive play, and Notre Dame scores for the first time this year and leads for the first time this year 7-0 with 51 and 2/10 seconds to go in the first quarter of this ball game. And again, as I mentioned, a pretty easy one to figure out. A 1 yard, 1 play drive, took 2 seconds. The kick is on the ground, and it's going to be bouncing right into the hands of one of the Manchester runners, and he is going to be knocked down about the 35 as Notre Dame comes on strong, and returned by Young. Young gets a fortunate bounce and is able to return it to some degree, but Bryan unable to really make too much headway, as Manchester will now have the ball 1st and 10, and they'll have that ball on their own 35-yard line with 46 and 3/10 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Titans scoring first after a fumble recovery. Manchester puts a man in motion. And Freeman is going to take that left side and get up through the center and get some yardage across the 40, just barely short of the first down. He's going to be brought down over there for Notre Dame by Basler. Also in on the tackle was Hayden Baker. And so it'll be 2nd down and just a smidge to go with the clock at 31 and 4/10 seconds.
Now 2nd down and about.
So it'll be 2nd down and a smidge.
For a first down for the Greyhounds.
And Rick Merb is going to say, let's just see if this is a first down or not. So they're going to bring the chains out. While they bring the chains out, we'll remind you that some of our sponsors tonight include Minix's Giovanni's, Portsmouth Cinema 8, Oak Tree Construction, and Jason Bentley, your Midland agent. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. There you see the sticks coming out. We'll get a good view of it here. And as they set that baby down, if any part of the ball is touching, and it is, and so Rick Merb declares it to be a first down. So Manchester picking up a first down on their first play of this drive. Looked shorter when they stopped him, but up here we don't have the same angle as the folks on the field. So Manchester will set. They're on their own 42-yard line.
Less than 30 seconds to go.
Again, split ends on either side. They've got wings on either side. They've got one back with the quarterback. Freeman will call. He fakes right. He was looking for a man there, and he wasn't there. The back went to the left, and Freeman is going to be ridden down underneath a bunch of Notre Dame Titans. Included amongst them, and first on the scene was Grant Sparks.
That's a loss.
Freeman turned to his right. The tailback went to his left. And that was, Freeman acted like he was rather surprised at the whole situation. Well, the first quarter has come to an end, and the score, Notre Dame 7, Manchester nothing. Back with quarter number 2, right after this.
King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio is working to provide health care that raises the bar with experienced physicians you know, like cardiologist Sri Valluri, one of the region's most respected heart experts. Our advanced diagnostic equipment and passionate attention to detail allows every possibility to be explored in order to find the best treatments available. King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio is a team dedicated to world-class health care for Portsmouth.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. Manchester has the ball to start the second quarter, but they've got second down and a ways to go. Ball sitting just outside their own 30. They have to get to the Notre Dame 41. So they have to get 10, 20, about 26 yards. So it'll be second down and 26 to go for the Manchester Greyhounds. Thanks to our sponsors for bringing you tonight's game. Osco Industries, King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio. All the Zone Country locations of the Portsmouth Public Library and the Roger W. Davis Funeral Home in West Portsmouth. So Manchester finally coming down to the other end of the field as we do switch ends in high school football. And as they get things set, we want to remind you that Notre Dame looking for their first victory of the season. Manchester coming in here at 1-0 in case you just joined us.
Back to the game.
Freeman will get a little pass on the right that was just sort of half-heartedly tossed out there as he was looking for Brian Young, and that ball fell short, and Young was moving forward, tried to reach to his left, but didn't really dive for it very hard. Of course, he would have lost yardage if it would have been complete, and he fell down. So discretion, the better part of valor there. Third down, and again, about 26 to go. And Manchester finding some pressure from Notre Dame, and Freeman gets away from a couple or three of them. Now he's headed up the field, and he's going to be stopped again. He didn't ever cut it up the field. He went left to right instead of up and down. And as a result, he didn't get very far.
Mr. Freeman picked up about a yard.
And so getting loose from the tacklers, good job on that. But he had some space. He could have turned it up, and he kept running toward the outside. Grant Sparks on there and Isaiah Johnson on the tackle. And so now it'll be fourth down, and Manchester will be forced to punt again. And the snap, no challenge by Notre Dame, as the ball is going to take a heck of a Manchester bounce. That baby is rolling down to about the 12, and it's going to be fallen on down there by Johnson. He could have probably picked it up and run it, but that was so far behind everybody. He just fell down and went with it. And Notre Dame now, instead of having real good position there, that excellent bounce by Freeman's punt will give Notre Dame a lot farther to go, as the ball will be on their own 11 with 10:57 to go here in the first half of play. Titans lead by the score of 7-0. And John Major will come out. And here they come. So Major comes out. He's got a split receiver to the right. He puts a man in motion from the right.
He hands the ball off up front,
and up into the middle of traffic, and
down at about the 18.
Going real well and carrying it up through there for Notre Dame. A pickup by Hunter Harrell. And he picks up a pretty good amount right up in there as he picks up about 8 yards to go. So Harrell doing the job, and only a sophomore. So Notre Dame with 10.5 minutes to play here in the first half, sitting on top of a 7-0 lead. This time split receiver and a slot man to the left, wing to the right, and they head to the right, sending everybody over there and moving up quickly. Hayden Baker.
24 or 25-yard line. I don't see any flags. That is a Notre Dame Titan.
Oh, that was Collins, excuse me. And a pickup enough for a first down for Notre Dame.
Brandon Saunders.
As Collins has had a pretty good night on the field so far. Titans, as I've mentioned a couple of times tonight, are 6-0 against this Manchester team.
Johnny Majors puts the ball in play. He handles it again up to Hunter Harrell, number 33.
Hunter Harrell up through there.
And he tackled at
Stop on the play for Manchester, made in there that time by Jordan Freeman.
Denny Blanton.
And it'll be second down and about 6 to go for the Notre Dame Titans. And Notre Dame, this time keeping everybody in close. They've got a wingman on the left, and otherwise everybody's in tight. The wingman goes into motion, and they give it to him. That's Phillips. Phillips still on his feet, enough for a first down, and out to about the 38 or 39-yard line before he's tackled over there for Manchester. And the tackle for Manchester that time made by Levi Francis.
25, Levi Francis.
And it's another Notre Dame first down, their second on this drive.
Notre Dame from their own 40, first down.
So they have advanced from their starting position on their own 11 with a couple of first downs behind them. Again, Phillips in motion again, and he gets the ball. He is close to and has the first down. Big pickup that time. On the stop, several for Manchester, including Tommy Denning.
That is once again
Phillips, 5'8", 140 pounds. And Phillips, a senior for Coach Bob Ashley.
Johnny Majors under center from the 50-yard line.
And Major spending most of his night up under center taking the snaps. And big gain that time. Again, Hayden Phillips moves forward, another Notre Dame first down. But there is a flag. Phillips' good run will going to be negated that time as he got most of that on his own. So the holding penalty will push Notre Dame back. And they'll step her back to about the 34-yard line where Notre Dame will have a bunch to go because they go from the spot, and that puts them back in a very painful position on the just inside the 35-yard line. They have to get all the way up to the Manchester 40. So first down and a quarter of the football field to go. Major's going to keep and run right side. He's got some room, but he's tripped up and will fall forward to about the 43 or 4-yard line. So he gets about 6 or 7 of it back. It'll be second down and about 17 to go. High school football on the zone sent your way by Pro Pest Control, by Rallies, by the Salvation Army, and by your hometown university, Shawnee State University. Major under center, puts his wing in motion. That's Phillips who'll take the ball. He tries to find some room outside. He cuts the corner and will be knocked out of bounds just on the Manchester end of the football field as he's pushed out of bounds in Manchester territory. Still short of the first down. They have to get all the way down to the Manchester 40. So they still have third down and about 8 to go. Maybe 9. We'll call it 9.
From the 49 with 10 yards to go.
So Major will bring the club up. Their unbalanced line to the right this time. And unbalanced line with Phillips going that way. He's got blocking. He's got room, but he doesn't get very far as Young is right there. Excuse me, not Young. Rather,
so Notre Dame's looking at a 4th down from the 49-yard line.
Austin Collins there along with Young bringing him down.
To go for a 1st down.
So now it'll be 4th down. Not much of a pickup, maybe half a yard on that for Phillips. 7:18 to play here in the first half at Spartan Stadium. High school football sent your way by King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, Randy Mattis Motors, and Streber Mortgage. And the punt is a high one.
Whistles are blown.
And we have a whistle.
Against Notre Dame, that'll back them up 5 yards.
So they're going to have 5 yards farther to punt on an illegal procedure call. So instead of it being 4th and 10, it's going to be 4th and about 4 or 4th and 9. Going to be 4th and about 14.
5-yard penalty, and we will repeat 4th down.
And so Notre Dame, which saw this drive start on their own 11, has become stalled a couple of times. A big holding penalty pushed them back about 15 yards, and then they've got an illegal procedure here. So on this drive, they should have been a little farther down in Manchester territory. A high snap, but a good punt nonetheless, and taken and fumbled, and Notre Dame is going to fall on that ball. The Titans are right there as that punt was muffed. And coming up out of there for Notre Dame is Peyton Crock. There you see him right there in the center of your camera. And the punt and a fumble recovery. And Notre Dame gets it all back and gets a whole new chance. As Notre Dame now will get the ball 1st and 10 on the Manchester 27. 6:45 to play here in the first half. New life. Phillips finds some room, bounces off a couple, and moves down through there. He'll be stopped in there, and the stops by James Arias and also Daniel Hernandez.
James Arias.
And a pickup of about 9 for Phillips. It'll be 2nd down and 1 to go.
And about a long yard
for the Notre Dame Titans here at Spartan Stadium. They lead 7-0. We are just about halfway through this second quarter of play here. And Major shouting out a couple of things, puts his man in motion. Phillips again, left side this time. Tries to cut it, but unable to do it. And there's a flag back in the center of the pile. I suspect we'll see a hold back in there.
Number 5, Jordan Freeman.
Freeman brings Phillips down, but the flag is back away from the tackle. And we're going to have illegal block against Notre Dame. Back in there where they throw that back behind the play, you're either going to see a hold or an illegal block, and that's what it is. So Notre Dame will be penalized again. And they will step back, and what once was looking pretty good now again is looking kind of sad, because we've gone now, we've got about 2nd down and about 13 to go. It was 2nd and 1.
We now have 2nd down and about 16 to go.
So
for
with
first down.
6 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. The Titans will see what they can do. They are on the Manchester end of the football field, inside the 35-yard line. They have scored once tonight.
Under center.
And they're going to pitch to the motion man. That's Collins, and he is going to be eaten alive back there. All over his case was Freeman. Freeman was back there and on him like flies on sugar.
Looks like another loss of a couple of yards.
So the ball will be placed down on the 35-yard line, so they lost another 1 or 2. Now it'll be 3rd down and about 17 to go for Notre Dame. And 1 step forward and 2 steps back at this particular juncture. Way out on the left side goes Isaiah Johnson. There's a wingman on either side, and Major can't find what he's looking for, so he calls timeout for Notre Dame with 5 minutes to play in the first half. Notre Dame's up 7-0. Back after this.
5 minutes left to go.
Binford Telephone and TV, real people who love this community. They're your one-stop shop on that you can bet. They bundle TV, phone, and high-speed internet. Affordability, dependability. Just try and you will see. The local choice, the best choice. Meant for telephone and TV. The local choice, the best choice. Meant for telephone and TV.
Games being brought to you by
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, where Notre Dame leads 7-0. 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Don't forget at halftime, it's the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Our game tonight presented to you by Rudity's Driving School, by Sherman Cricker Insurance, by all the Zone Country locations of Sunspot Tanning, and by Sweet Confections Bakery in Barbersville. Titans, long ways to go. Third down and about 17 or 18.
Ball from the 35-yard line. Third down and 18 to go.
And they've got everybody in tight. Wingman on the left. We're unbalanced to the right-hand side again. The unbalanced line, they go the opposite way. And a big hole over there for Collins as Manchester overshifted. Not nearly enough for the first down, but he got a good chunk of it back. He's going to be down to about the 22-yard line. That's going to make it fourth down and about 5 to go. And Notre Dame is going to come up quickly with no huddle. And they go quickly and they snap, and Collins gets caught in the backfield. That slows him down enough for Manchester to come up on him. And is going to be just short, about 1 or 2 yards short of that first down, even on the quick go. So Notre Dame loses the ball on downs, and a couple of penalties again slowed the Titans down on this drive. And Manchester will get it back on downs, but they're deep in their own end of the football field. Manchester will have the ball with 4:28 to go, and the ball is sitting on their 19-yard line. So Notre Dame unable to convert on that fumble recovery.
19-yard line of Manchester.
So they were trying to see what they could do. But before things continue, somebody wants to talk. So there's timeout on the field. Notre Dame leads 7-0 with 4:29 to go. Back after this.
A night of family entertainment awaits you at the Portsmouth Cinema 8. We're always improving. More games, better movies, delicious concessions, online ticket sales, and updates on Facebook as well. To make your experience better, we now have all 8 theaters in digital DLP with Dolby Surround Sound. Plus, you can watch your next digital 3D movie here. All the entertainment you need at Portsmouth Cinema 8. Movies will never be the same again.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. There you see Notre Dame getting some instructions. Number 2 in the center of your picture is Sam Kaiser. 15 is John Major. 52 as they break up out of there is Aaron Basler. And Notre Dame will come out. Manchester will have the ball. 1st and 10, their own 19 with 4:29 to play in the first half. Again, Freeman is still the quarterback. Jordan Freeman, a 6 foot tall, 170-pound junior. He's got slot men on either side and puts his left slot man in motion, who sets up as a running back. And they're going to give up through the middle, and up through there comes Brandon Saunders.
By number 1.
And he's going to pick up about 8 or 9 on that, it looks like. Maybe, let's see, it'll be second down and about 2. So a good opening play for Manchester on that one. Same starting setup, slot men on either side, one back with Freeman. Man goes in motion, and a flag. And Freeman will take the ball and make it up to about the 28 or 29. He's going to be real close to the first down. But we've got a flag thrown by the official closest to us, and it's going to go against Manchester, it looks like. They're going to say that the man went in motion illegally. So that'll cost them 5. And now, instead of being almost to the first down, they're going to be almost 6 yards away from a first down. And they're just outside their own 20. 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the first half of play.
Play coming in from the sideline from the Greyhounds.
Last year, The Greyhounds finished with the best record ever in the modern era, 6-4 for Manchester.
Back to take the snap.
Notre Dame, of course, made the playoffs last year.
Up the middle to number 13.
They try in the heavy traffic, and that's not nearly enough. It's going to make it 3rd down and about 4 to go for the Manchester Greyhounds.
3rd and 4 for the Manchester Greyhounds.
Manchester's
13 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
Luck on that one did not quite hold out. So 3rd and 4, Freeman is looking,
from the 25-yard line.
hollering out some instructions to his ball club. Again, that same setup with a slot man on either side and one back with Freeman. They put a man in motion one more time. They fake to him, and Freeman will keep it. He'll head out, and he's going to be stopped way short of the first down. As you see, many Notre Dame Titans on him. Leading the charge, Charlie Eichenlob. Charlie Eichenlob with a big wrap of his gigantic arms. The 6'2 senior took his 240 pounds and stood it up against Freeman's 170, and we had a standoff. Well, there's timeout on the field. Notre Dame wants to have to make Manchester punt with the clock not running. So Notre Dame up by 7. We'll be back with the punt right after this.
The library isn't just a source for books anymore. We are activities. We are local history and genealogy. We are entertainment. We are DVDs and books on CD. We are online. We are education. We are mobile. We are everywhere. We are still books and reading. We are here for our community. We are here for you.
We are the Portsmouth Public Library.
I love the library.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, where Notre Dame is leading 7-0. We are in the closing minutes of the first half, 2 minutes, 25 seconds to play. Manchester will have to punt. Notre Dame calls timeout so as not to use the clock while they were setting up the punt.
With 4 yards to go.
And as a result,
Josh Freeman.
Notre Dame will see what happens. Last time Freeman punted, he made a beautiful, long, rolling punt that put Notre Dame deep in the hole. Collins is back there this time. He's going to be standing on about his 40-yard line to see what Freeman does to him this time. Freeman's kick is again low, but it's going to spin and take a Manchester bounce that Collins is going to pick up. He's still on his feet and returns it back across midfield. So Notre Dame gets pretty decent field position to start what may be the last drive of this first half. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to play here in the half, and Notre Dame will have the ball on the Manchester 47-yard line. Notre Dame's next game at Grove City Christian. That'll be a Friday night game for Notre Dame. Home games for the Titans, of course, always
first down from the 47-yard line.
Here on Saturday night.
Major's under center.
Major has a wingman to the left. They are unbalanced to the right again.
He hands off to Michael Collins.
And Collins has some room, gets away from one, gets away and loose. He's on his way down the sideline and is going to be stopped on about the 5-yard line. And a fumble. And Manchester covers. Collins got all the way down. He got stopped. The ball popped loose. Freeman had stopped him. And Collins fumbled away what was undoubtedly going to be about a one-play touchdown drive.
Daniel Hernandez with the tackle. It'll be Manchester's ball.
A fumble, and Manchester will recover.
2 minutes and 4 seconds left to go.
So Manchester now deep in the hole. 2 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the half on their own 1-yard line. But once again, they've got the football, but they're working from a mighty tenuous position. So Notre Dame gives up what undoubtedly was going to be at least 6 points.
Man in motion.
So they try the left side, and it's a flea flicker thing that they pitch it out. And giving it out on that side, it goes to Levi Francis, who continues after the initial contact.
It was a About a 1.5 yard gain. It'll be second down. And
So Francis out there to the left. They just kind of flicked it over to him. So it'll be second down and 8 to go for Manchester, as that one was rather a surprise to many of us up here in the press box.
29, Josh Freeman getting the signals from.
And now Manchester standing there. Let's see if we're marked ready for play. We are. Freeman still standing in his own end zone. Got a man in motion, and they're going to try the right side, and not much room there, and it's right close to the goal line. And he's going to be stopped at the 1. And big tackles there for Notre Dame. Hunter Harrell on the scene along with several others. So it'll be third down from inside the 1 yard line. And there was just no room to be had for Young on that one. And there's timeout on the field with 1:03 to play in the first half. We'll be back with an important play right after this.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes or if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance.
Howell Insurance Agency, serving you for over 75 years.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. High school football here on the zone. Here's the situation. We have 1 minute and 3 seconds left to go in the first half. Manchester has the ball, but they've got it on about their own 1 foot line. They recovered a fumble from Notre Dame on the 1. They advanced a little bit, but then on that last play almost got trapped in the end zone. Notre Dame called timeout as Manchester conceivably could still give this ball up before the half is over. Freeman standing in his own end zone. He will take it and head forward and runs into traffic, and I don't know if he made it out of the end zone or not.
They're looking. Did he get out of the end zone?
And we will see it is fourth down.
It's going to be fourth down.
So he got out of the end zone. Rick Merb raises the fourth down signature. So apparently Freeman must have just barely squeezed that baby out of there because contact was made in the backfield in the end zone area. Clock still running with 33 seconds to play in half number 1. Neither team has much of a choice here. Freeman's going to be standing at the back of his own end zone to punt it away. He's going to stand as long as he can and make sure Notre Dame doesn't have much time. As he will call, gets the snap. Notre Dame rushing hard that time.
He gets the ball off.
And the ball is caught by Collins on the Manchester 35, down to the 30. Got room on the side, cuts back. He's knocked hard about the 8 yard line. Hard hit that time for Manchester by Gavin Baldwin, but that's the way the first half ends. Manchester punts it. Collins almost gets it back, but comes a few yards short, and the half comes to an end. Notre Dame is on top at the midpoint of this ball game. The Titans 7, the Greyhounds nothing. We'll be back with the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report when we return right after this.
Here at the Roger W. Davis Funeral Home, we are not only here for you in your time of need, but we're also here to help our neighbor, to serve our community, and to help guide our youth. We do our best each day to make our area a great place to call home, and each year we give you a time to gather and remember your loved ones. To all area teams in the upcoming sports season, remember, the difference between impossible and possible lies in your determination. Good luck from all of us at the Roger W. Davis Funeral Home.
Peter 10:17.
Ruth 2:11.
James 11:9.
When I was hungry.
When I was lost.
When I was stoned.
You gave me help.
Faith.
Joy.
You gave me a chance. Amanda 4:6. When I was saved.
Your holiday donations to the Salvation Army make change all year long.
Stadium. It's halftime. You're watching the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Notre Dame leads Manchester 7-0. And again, in the first half tonight, Notre Dame scores for the first time this year. And the Titans in the first half, statistically, they are led by Michael Collins. Collins, the 6-foot-tall junior, took his 175 pounds for 94 yards in that first half. 12 rushes for 94 for Collins in half number one. Also, Hayden Phillips had one carry that he gained on, and that was a 21-yarder. So he picked up that. Also, for Notre Dame, Hunter Harrell, as Harrell ran the ball for 13 yards in the first half. So 94 yards for Collins, 21 for Phillips, and 13 for Harrell in the first half. All also 8 yards for Major and Kaiser, and in addition to that, also Lansing each had a chance to carry, had a touch on the ball as well. In the first half, Major's passing. Major was 2 out of 4, excuse me, and receptions in that first half. So first down wise, I don't have an accurate count on that, but Notre Dame had 3, 4, 5, 6 first downs. Manchester kind of was held a little bit from their last week where they had 300 and some yards rushing. So Notre Dame held them back some. 1 first down for Manchester in half number one. So those are some of the stats. Thanks to Mike Evans and also Skip Hickman for giving us that for half number one. You're on the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Notre Dame is ahead 7-0 here at halftime, and we will be back with more of our halftime report right after this.
Currently, I am working with some sensors that can detect changes in rotation. What I'm doing now I do enjoy. I'm hoping to eventually grow from that and do full-fledged commercial games as my career. I'm equipped to do it, and that's the important thing.
I knew I wanted to do something with games. Shawnee had the degree that I was looking for. We've learned a lot about different kinds of programming, not just games. We work with artists that you can describe how characters look and they draw it. The variety of knowledge helps me stand out at Shawnee State.
We're about ready to start the second half.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. As it's halftime, you're on the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Notre Dame leading 7-0. The way the ball game went in the first half, Manchester took the opening kickoff and took it down to the Notre Dame 2, and then the Notre Dame defense held tight and caused Manchester to turn it over on downs. The Titans got the ball on their own 2 and fumbled that ball away after picking up a couple of first downs. Manchester got the ball on their own 45, and they lost it on downs after they tried a fake punt. Back and forth with Notre Dame punt, Manchester punt, Notre Dame punt, Manchester fumble. And then finally, Notre Dame started a drive with 53 seconds to go in the first quarter. They got the ball on their 1 yard line, on the Manchester 1 yard line, following the fumble of the punt. And Major took the ball in from 1 yard out. A 1 yard, 1 play drive that took 2 seconds off the clock. The kick was good, and Notre Dame led with 51 seconds to go in the first quarter, 7-0. Manchester and Notre Dame again traded back and forth throughout the half with punts and losses on downs and fumbles and punts. And that's pretty much the way the first half went, and it's history now. You're on the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Notre Dame looking for their first win of the season, coming in at 0-1. Manchester at 1-0. Manchester has not beat Notre Dame in this series since they started playing back in 2008. Notre Dame seeking to maintain that perfect record as they sit at 6-0 against the Greyhounds. We're on the halftime report, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, where Notre Dame leads Manchester by the score of 7-0. We are at halftime, and you are watching the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. I had a bunch of guys around me here. I was going to talk to a couple of them for a minute about this football game. Cody Lice, one of our friends in the media business, is now the sports guy at Ledger Independent in Maysville, Kentucky. He was in this area for a long while, and he's up covering the Greyhounds for the Ledger Independent tonight. And had a nice chat with him about Ohio football and Kentucky football. It is halftime. Notre Dame's next game scheduled up. Notre Dame will be at Grove City Christian next week. The next time we'll see Notre Dame will be on your TV set the 21st of September when the Chesapeake Panthers will invade Spartan Stadium. The Panthers coming in, they've lost 2 ball games so far this year. And that'll be week number 4. So we'll see what happens when Notre Dame and Chesapeake get together our next time here on Notre Dame football on the Zone. That'll be 2 weeks from tonight. Right now it's halftime, and it's about ready to set things going. So we'll be right back with the kickoff right after this brief message.
The sun is always shining at Sunspot Tanning Salons. We are your #1 source for that deeper, darker, lasting tan, and not just during summer, all year long. Our high-tech equipment gives you that perfect coloring by offering quality tanning in a clean, cool, and controlled environment for everyone from beginners and beyond. Excellent up-to-date products and various locations with convenient hours. You won't have to wait for the sun to look fine.
Welcome to the Sunspot, where the sun always shines.
Sweet Confections is your best choice for a full-service bakery. We have wedding, specialty, and birthday cakes, cookies, cupcakes, fudge, and more. We even have sugar-free diabetic treats. At Sweet Confections, our sweets are happiness condensed. Call or go online and order your happiness today.
This is my business. I'm the owner and sole proprietor.
I only have one other employee, Chester.
It's a romantic notion. Be the boss, but you are alone.
Well, not technically alone.
I do have a lot of help, actually.
My UPS store.
I had this printed there. Packing, shipping, help.
Outstanding.
Posters.
I have a mailbox there.
Best thing, they're right down the street.
The owner's a friend.
Forgot the account.
My team.
Yes! Careful now.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. Second half ready to start. Notre Dame won the toss before the game, elected to defer, and they will receive this half and defend the south goal. Our halftime report has been presented to you by Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine on Kinney's Lane in Portsmouth. Manchester will kick off, and we're set to go here on the Zone as Manchester will put the foot to it. And half number 2 is underway, and it's taken about the 35-yard line and coming up quickly towards the 48, 49-yard line. Notre Dame will have pretty darn good field position there. Catching it on the fly. Notre Dame gets the ball, and they will move it up to the 48-yard line on their own 48, and with just 7 seconds gone of this half, Notre Dame will start and move from right to left on your TV screen. Major is still the quarterback. This time he sends a wide receiver way out to the left side. He's got a man in the slot, and they give straight ahead, and on their way up through there, Collins is on his way and approaching the first down stick and actually falls down a little bit beyond it before he's brought down over there by Nick Hoskins.
And number 51.
It should be enough for a Notre Dame first down, and it is indeed a first down for the Titans as they come into Manchester territory. So the Titans starting off with a bang here to go with the second half. Big pickup by Collins. Collins in that first half, 94 yards. That'll throw him over 100 for the ball game. And here comes Collins again. He's going to try the left, cut down, and inside the 40 down to about the 39, 38-yard line. And so he'll pick up about 3 or 4 on that. And they set the ball just a shade inside the 39-yard line of the Manchester Greyhounds. Greyhounds started up their football program long about 6, 7, 8 years ago. They played a JV schedule at first for the first year or two. Collins goes to the outside.
And the ball comes loose.
And there is a ball popping out of there. Let's see who's got it. Got our camera right on that, as you can see. And they're going to continue to give it to Notre Dame, and it's another first down. Notre Dame has given up the ball twice tonight. Manchester has given up the ball twice. 2 turnovers for each team in the first half. You're watching high school football on the Zone, presented to you by Terry Johnson for 90th District State Representative, by the Battery Terminal, by the UPS Store, by Wheelersburg Cinema, and by Sisters Dairy Barn in Sciotaville. Nice pickup in there that time for Notre Dame's Jonathan Major. And it'll be second down and about 6. We'll say a 4-yard pickup on that. We're in quarter number 3. We've only played about 1 minute and 45 seconds of this second half. Notre Dame led at the half by the score that exists now, 7-0. And the Titans this time sending Johnson way out to the right side. Wingman on either side, and Manchester charging across the line. And they're going to charge it against Manchester, and that will make it even closer to the first down. It'll be a second down and about 1 or 2 now.
Only about 2 yards to go for a first
And so it'll be second and a pair. The Titans on the Manchester end of the football field. Ball just outside the 20-yard line. Notre Dame scoring for their first time of the season tonight. And each team has had many opportunities, and they have charged back and forth up and down the field. But only one time has the plane of the goal been broken. Kaiser on the right side will turn on the speed, and the Jets fire, and he gets down inside the 15, down to about the 10, maybe even inside the 10-yard line. They're going to place that ball just about 1 football length inside the 10, and that'll be first down and goal to go for the Titans, their 3rd first down of this series. And way out to the left-hand side goes Johnson. And Major will give it inside, and Manchester is all over that one.
He moves it ahead for
maybe a pickup of a smidge.
7-yard line.
9 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter of action. Historic Spartan Stadium is the place, and the anticipated storms that we saw lurking in the sidelines earlier have not appeared. And we're all pretty happy about that, because when lightning starts, everything has to stop for a half hour minimum.
So entering the game, we've got...
So weather-wise, we've been pretty happy about that. High school football on the Zone presented to you tonight by Bob Evans of New Boston, by Stoltz Pharmacy in Wheelersburg, by Lightning Lube at 11th and Finley, and also presented to you by King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio. Collins moving to the left and heading down inside the 5. There's Collins on your camera. He doesn't look real big, but he's got some power in him. 6 foot tall, 175 pounds, so he doesn't carry a whole lot of weight on that 6 foot tall frame. Nice thing is he's only a junior. So it's 3rd and goal on the 3. And they're going to give it to Phillips. Phillips will continue to drive, and a big mess. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Hayden Phillips, a 3-yard run. As Notre Dame starts this drive on their own 48-yard line. Phillips goes in motion, heads to the right, and basically bulls his way into the end zone with 8:07 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. So for the 2nd time this season, Notre Dame has scored, and now they lead by 2 touchdowns. They're going to kick this baby up and see what they can do. The kick is up, and Drew Cassidy puts it through. And as we go to the break, Notre Dame is now up 14-0. Back after this.
Enjoy the movie.
It's a lot cleaner. Yeah, they actually cycle movies faster here.
The bassoon look like a box of chocolates.
Have you seen a really big snake? I hate snakes.
None shall pass.
Wheelersburg Cinema, still bringing movies to life.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. Notre Dame has just put together a decent drive here as they started the half on their own 48-yard line, taking the opening kickoff at 11:53. They score at 8:07, so they use up 3 minutes and 46 seconds of clock time as Hayden Phillips takes it in from the 3-yard line. Cassidy's kick is good, and that completes an 8-play, 52-yard drive, and Notre Dame now up by the score of 14-0. So Notre Dame continuing to add a couple of points there, giving themselves a little more cushion as we are here in the third quarter. High school football on the zone sent your way by Advance 360, by ADS Auto and Tire, by attorney Eddie Edwards. Brought to you by Brian Davis for Scioto County Commissioner, by Barrett and Murphin Insurance, and by the Atomic Credit Union. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there, folks. Notre Dame will kick off from your right to your left. Notre Dame in the dark jerseys, Manchester in the light ones. It's on the ground. It's rolling down inside the 30 and picked up in there that time for Manchester by Daniel Hernandez. And Hernandez is going to be dropped down around the 25-yard line, where Manchester will start. Let's see exactly where they put it so we can give you a good bit of info there. Just a shade, about the 31-yard line. And 8:03 to play here in quarter number 3. The Titans leading by a pair of touchdowns right now. Manchester yet to crack the scoreboard. And as they come, we still have Jordan Freeman, the 6-foot-tall junior, in at the quarterback. He's got twin receivers out to the right. He puts one of those in motion. And not much room in there. Notre Dame unhappy about that play call and decided to stop the man from going forward. Brandon Saunders dropped. Loss maybe on that one of about 1. So the Greyhounds, finding the confines of Spartan Stadium not to be very friendly thus far. Dustin Cook, for his second week in a row, coming back to Scioto County. And they go up inside again, and again Notre Dame swarming around that ball. Pickup of 2 or 3 on that one. But lots and lots and lots of Titans around there. First man on the scene will be C.J. Smith. And it'll be now a third down and about 9 to go for the Manchester Greyhounds. Manchester did not pass last week at all. Freeman has aired the ball out, relatively speaking, this evening. And speaking of airing it out, and there's the pass, and just beyond the reach of his man, and almost caught. And it was Daniel Hernandez who was there about the 45-yard line. And it seems like maybe a little extra stretch might have got that one, but it falls incomplete, and that's going to make it a 4th down. Notre Dame will drop back Isaiah Johnson, and also back there for Notre Dame is going to be Brandon Lansing. And Collins will be standing up of the 3. He'll be standing about Manchester 48. The kick is high. Fair catch is called for, and then it's bobbled. And Lansing will take it and fall on it about the 41 or 36-yard line of Notre Dame. So Notre Dame, which could have had Manchester been advancing a little quicker there, could have found themselves in a hurting situation. Instead falls on the ball, and they will get that and have possession on their own 36. Their last drive, they started on their own 48 and put together a 3-minute and 46-second drive to score a touchdown. Right now, the clock says 6:36, and the Titans will start a little bit deeper in their own territory. But Notre Dame will put a man in motion. They're going to give to the inside man, and Notre Dame finds some foul-tempered responses from Manchester on that one. James Arias is first on the scene. There you see him, number 2, first up. He's not a very big guy, but he is right there raring to go for the Greyhounds. And he was all over that one like upholstery on a recliner. And so the Titans will come up. They've got everybody in tight now. A wingman on the left. And again, they're going to try the left side. Collins cuts it up. He's across the 40. He's still short of the first down, but he keeps driving now to where he's only about a yard or two short of that first down. Nice second effort by Collins again on the scene. James Arias still there and still coming along. So good response by that young man. Collins with a good effort after he was hit to continue to drive. It'll be third down and about 2 to go for the Notre Dame Titans. Coach Bob Ashley's crew calls the snap. Left side. Collins again has a first down and goes into Manchester territory, where he will be dropped about the 40-yard line. A first down and new life into Manchester, into the football field for the Notre Dame Titans, as Collins has really been a workhorse tonight. He had 94 yards in the first half, and he's probably up in the mid-100s by now, as they just run that little sort of off-tackle left, with him taking a little more depth on that. Right side this time. A little off tackle down inside the 35, down to about the 33, and he continues to find his groove. He's down that time by Brian Young, the 6-foot-tall sophomore. Notre Dame ahead, 14-0, with about 4.5 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. You're watching high school football on the Zone, presented by the Wheelersburg Cinema, by Sisters Dairy Barn, and by Stoltz Pharmacy in Wheelersburg. Trying the left again this time, and as they move forward, Phillips is going to get down inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. Nice block in there that time for him, for Notre Dame. A good block by Alec Liston. And as we are sorting things out here, the ball is on the 29. We've got a penalty flag against Manchester. Going to be a face mask. So that should throw Notre Dame past the first down marker. So they bring him down, but not without assistance from the face guard. So that'll give another first down to Notre Dame. They started this drive on their own 36. With 6 minutes and 36 seconds to play in this third quarter. They have now used 2 minutes and 18 seconds, and they are inside the red zone. The ball on about the 14-yard line of Manchester. Major will take his time and call. And Collins runs into some traffic, and Manchester gives a good example right there of gang tackling. First on the scene, Austin Collins, the 5'10", 200-pound sophomore who did the wrap. And so it'll be now no gain on that whatsoever. It'll be second down and 10 to go for the Notre Dame Titans. Clock is on the run with 3 minutes and 40 seconds, but we're only in quarter number 3. Major again with the wings on either side. Nobody out wide. They're unbalanced line to the right. And they try the short side. Collins will get out there, and he'll be quickly brought down by Jordan Franklin. And so Collins picks up a handful. That'll make it third down and about 7 to go. Jordan Franklin brings him down, had a good wrap around the hips. Collins wasn't going very far, trying to carry the 225 pounds of Franklin with him. Again, Phillips is the wing to the left. And we've got to stop and fix some equipment of some sort. Again, Notre Dame unbalanced line to the right this time. One lone back behind, wings. They'll try the left, the short side again. And they get up through there, a couple of hits in there. First on the scene, we'll give credit to Tommy Denning, 250 pounds on him. So Collins is having a little bit of trouble having to carry all this extra weight that these guys keep tacking on to him by wrapping and holding on. 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go in quarter number 3. You're watching high school football on the Zone, sent your way by Bob Evans of New Boston, by Lightning Lube, and by Stakers Sales and Service, 9th Street in Portsmouth. Unbalanced line to the right again. And Collins on the short side again, on his feet, inside the end zone, touchdown Notre Dame. There's Michael Collins, who carried some people with him, and after all that work, he gets down in there. A nice run by Collins. And Collins carries that ball in from, I didn't catch how far out he was on that, from the 10-yard line. And Notre Dame has scored their 3rd touchdown of the night with 2 minutes and 1 second to play here in quarter number 3. Began that drive on their own 36-yard line. The kick is up and blocked. So as they come back up the field, Notre Dame leads by the score of 20-0. Back with the kickoff right after this.
Advanced 360 brings care to the next level after your hospital stay. Recover in luxury in your private suite. Stay connected, relax, and focus on healing and getting back home. Advanced 360 is Portsmouth's premier post-hospital rehabilitation destination. Contact your healthcare provider to reserve your private recovery suite today. Located on the campus of Bridgeport Healthcare, a proud member of the Communicare family of companies.
Now Notre Dame sitting on top of a 3-touchdown lead. They compile a drive that goes 64 yards, takes them 8 plays, took them 4 minutes and 35 seconds off the clock. So again, a nice coordinated drive for Notre Dame. Collins takes it in from 10 yards out, and Collins has got to be approaching 200 yards for the evening. That young man, Michael Collins, just a junior. One thing we saw out of him last week is that he threw a pass. Some passes last week. He was 1 for 3 for 6 yards last week. This week he is getting his work out by way of the foot as he keeps plopping one foot in front of the other, and he's got to be approaching 200 yards. So Notre Dame will kick off with 2 minutes and 1 second to go here in the 3rd quarter. High school football on the Zone, sent your way by the UPS store, by the Battery Terminal, and Sweet Confections Bakery in Barbersville. There comes the kick, and it will bounce, and we got whistle, 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 offside probably. So they'll step back another 5. And kick her off from the 35-yard line. So they will set her up. The Titans next at Grove City Christian. On the road. We'll have them next at home 2 weeks from tonight. And the kick again on the ground will bounce and be taken. And moving off to the right and still heading up through there. A nice return set up that time, and a return by Daniel Hernandez. So Hernandez gives Manchester some decent field position as the Greyhounds will step in and take charge of the football on their own 43-yard line with 1:56 left to go here in quarter number 3. So the Greyhounds, under Coach Dustin Cook in his first year at the helm. Coach Cook got the call for that rather late as Manchester's head coach was given sort of one of those jobs in a lifetime offers, being in the administration at the Athens school system, and had to leave. And it was right before practice was supposed to start, about 31st of July. And Hernandez will take that ball and move forward. So Freeman, who threw no passes last week, is really airing it out tonight. Both of these clubs last week did not throw a pass. We can't say the same thing tonight. So they pick up about 6 or 7 on that. We'll say 7. It'll be second down and a long 3 to go for Manchester. And now we've got a couple of things going on, including a timeout with 1:18 to go. And we'll be back right after this.
Atomic Credit Union has been serving Southern Ohio since 1955. With 11 different locations, our friendly staff is here to help you with all your financial needs. From loans to checking accounts, online services, and extended hours, Atomic Credit Union is your full-service financial institution. Check out our website at www.2mycu.com or call us at 1-800-652-2328 to learn about the benefits of an Atomic Credit Union membership.
Getting some instructions. The Hounds are back up, set to go. They've got 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. So we got twins either side with 2 men behind the quarterback, And we air it out again, and that one falls a little short as they're looking down that way, trying to see if they can hook it up with Daniel Hernandez, and it falls short along about the 35-yard line. So that'll bring up now a third down and about 4 to go for the Greyhounds. High school football on the Zone sent your way by Stakers Sales and Service, by Bob and Floyd's Tire Service on Chillicothe Street, and by all the Zone Country locations of Desco Federal Credit Union. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. Now we seem to be delaying things here a little bit while we have some sort of, we've got a flag against Notre Dame as they get penalized. And it'll be a Manchester first down by way of the penalty. So the infraction is called, and the infraction is marked off, and Manchester with a new set of downs to work with. They're in Notre Dame territory following that penalty on the Notre Dame 46-yard line. Twin receivers either side again. And Freeman is going to be hit and dropped. Hard on his case that time was C.J. Smith. C.J. Smith, the defensive end, has been looking for some action like that all night, and he is finally coming into contact with Jordan Freeman in a way that sets the Greyhounds back onto their own end of the field. It'll be second down and about 15 to go. And so, with that being the situation, Manchester comes up with the same formation again. Freeman takes the direct snap. He goes left side, and it's just off the hands of his intended receiver. That one looked like it should be a catchable ball, and I don't know really what happened on that situation. Arturo Hernandez was right there with nobody close to him for about 5 yards, and it can't be he was too short. He's 6 feet tall, so I don't know exactly whether Freeman put too much on that or what the story was, but nonetheless, it falls incomplete. And now, third down and long with about 15 or 16 to go. Young goes in motion. Flag on the play. The ball is aired out, and that is way, way beyond Young. Young, the motion man, was downfield on the right about the 20. And that ball was a good 5 yards behind, in front of him, They aired that baby out. On the coverage that time for Notre Dame was Hayden Phillips. So it'll be 4th down for Manchester. Logical thing to do here would be to punt. And Manchester has had fairly good results with that, but it looks like at this situation with 11 seconds left in the third quarter, they may be going for it. If so, Notre Dame will get some good field position if Manchester doesn't get it. Freeman takes a long time, gets it. He throws. He's got a man just beyond the defender, but that ball again was way too long. And he had 2 men down there, but he threw beyond everyone, and so it falls incomplete. And Manchester loses the ball on downs, and it will become the possession of the Notre Dame Titans with 6 9/10 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Notre Dame will get the ball in great field position on the Manchester 49-yard line. This obviously will be the last play of quarter number 3. Major has a wingman to the left. Once again, they are unbalanced line to the right. And they're going to go to Collins off to the other direction again. He cuts it up in the middle. He's got some room and finally is tackled. Big saving tackle right there for Manchester. And bringing him down at the nick of time was Levi Francis. And that'll be the end of the quarter. We are 3/4 of the way home here at Spartan Stadium. And the score at the end of 3 is Notre Dame 20, Manchester nothing. Back with quarter number 4 right after this.
Many people know that at the battery terminal in Ashland, Kentucky, we sell automotive, marine, and recreational vehicle batteries. But did you know we also sell
Power Wheels, motorcycle, and wheelchair batteries?
We also sell batteries for garage door openers, watches, cordless phones, and cell phones.
The Battery Terminal is a family-owned business located in Ashland, Kentucky. We've been in business for 28 years, and we are here to service your battery needs.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, where the third quarter has come to an end. The Notre Dame Titans are ahead by the score of 20-0 in their first home contest of the season. The Titans will have the ball to start the quarter, and as the quarter ended, Collins made a nice pickup. It'll be Notre Dame's ball. And as they place it, the ball will be on the Manchester 37-yard line is where they're putting it right now. And it will be a 1st down and 10 to go for Notre Dame. So, again, Notre Dame knocking up some yardage onto the scoreboard. Collins had 94 yards at the end of the first half. He's got to be approaching 200 now. We'll check with some of our compadres down here and see if they've got an idea how much he's got. And as they come this way, Notre Dame will come out. Manchester is there. High school football on the zone sent your way by Sunspot Tanning, by Sherman Cricker Insurance, by Randy Mattis Motors, and by the Salvation Army. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to you for being there. Again, Major under center. Puts his man in motion. That's Phillips who gets the ball. And he gets forward to about the 32-yard line before he's dropped in there. And at the bottom of the pile for Manchester, we're going to find in there Marcus Neely. Marcus Neely brings him down, but not before Phillips picks up about 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and a long 5, a short 6 for the Notre Dame Titans, who find themselves in the lead at this point as we are early in quarter number 4. And as they line up again, we've got an unbalanced line. This time it's to the left. And Major will give, and they'll go to the short side again. Collins works his way down as he shakes and bakes down to about the 22-yard line. That's enough for a Notre Dame 1st down. Titans getting a good place to start this drive from the Manchester 49. They'll mark him down on about the 23-yard line. So Michael Collins continues to add to his total. 11 minutes still to go in the ball game. We do not have a good number for him, but we know he's got to be in the upper 100s by this time. And there is timeout on the field with 11:09 to play. We'll be back after this.
You know the value of planning and hard work. For every seed you plant now, you will be rewarded later. Throughout your life, you've planned and made smart decisions. You deserve State Auto's Prime of Life to protect your home and autos. Find out more about Prime of Life and other State Auto products.
Call Barrett Murphy, your local State Auto Insurance Agency.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, where Notre Dame leads 20-0, 11:03 to go in this ball game, the opening game of the season here at Spartan Stadium. One of the things I did want to comment on is the turf, the grass field looks really great here at the stadium this year. It has been taken care of, and Major doesn't like what he sees and calls timeout again. So the second timeout in a row, and pretty quick things roll along. We'll be back after this.
At Desco, we believe loans to small businesses result in stronger communities. We believe the experience and ability to make local decisions awards you the home field advantage. We believe quick decisions and straightforward answers are what you need to get started. At Desco, we have terms to fit your business. Desco Federal Credit Union. We make business loans.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, where we have 10 minutes and 49 seconds to go here. Conversations in the press box while the commercials are on, and inevitably you get ready to say something and you come back live. At least so far I'm alive. I haven't been killed off yet, but the night is young. 1st and 10 yards to go for Notre Dame. Major again looking it over, not liking what he sees. He's almost looking like Manchester might have 15 or 16 guys out there. Phillips hit hard in the backfield, and a big hit in there by Nick Hoskins. 205 pounds coming in on top of young Hayden Phillips. Phillips carries 140 pounds soaking wet. And he made his presence known there. High school football coming your way on the Zone, presented to you by Dr. Terry Johnson for 90th District State Representative. Brought to you by Goodwill Industries, by all the Zone Country locations of Desco Federal Credit Union, and by the Glockner family of dealerships. Well, you can see that Kaiser is working on it. It's going to be a third down situation for Notre Dame now. They're on the Manchester end of the field. They set them all down smack dab on the 25-yard line of the Greyhounds. They have to get all the way down to the 13 to get a first down. As I was saying earlier, the stadium grass just looks really great this year. In fine condition. So it's really a good playing surface this year. Man in motion, and that's the way they roll. And a little toss by Major is complete to Phillips. Phillips gets it about the 15 and gets down inside the 10 for a Notre Dame first down. Third first down of this drive for Notre Dame. And that's the first pass of the season for Major, I think, if I'm looking at right. Last week, their passes all came from Collins, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check my records to make sure. But a first down for Notre Dame with 9:15 to go. 1st and goal, 8-yard line. Notre Dame Titans trying to tack on a little extra in case Manchester breaks loose here, which they showed they could do last week against Green. Everybody left and driving down inside the 5. Michael Collins, who just a couple of plays ago was up to 175 yards, so that should put him in about the 180-yard range. The ball's going to be placed down exactly on the 3 with 2nd down and goal to go from the 3-yard line. Notre Dame is up there. They are unbalanced line to the right. And they go to the left with Collins. He's got a little room, but Manchester drags him down. And bringing him down again was Nick Hoskins. who grabbed the jersey and gave him a fling. That was the Manchester fling right there. So it's 3rd and goal for Notre Dame, as the ball will be now on about the 4-yard line. Loss of 1 on the play. And as they set, Major, Collins is headed in towards the line. Looks like they may have stopped him. It'll be 4th and goal if that proves to be the situation. 4th down signal is given. And so Notre Dame, which found themselves in this position way back in the first quarter, except they had a 1st and goal, now has a 4th and goal. The last time they were in this situation, Major took it in. So we'll see what they do this time. And as I look up, I see we have unbalanced line to the left. Major again coming off the tail of his center. Looks like a touchdown. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Major, a 1-yard run. Major went off the right hip of Aaron Basler and had a nice bit of blocking in there where he had some room to squeeze in. A 1-yard run for John Major. 7:08 to go as Notre Dame started on the Manchester 49-yard line. So they put together a 49-yard drive that takes. Kick is good. As we come back up the field, Notre Dame up 27-0. Back with the kickoff right after this.
They treat you like family when you come in. We even stop by when we don't have to be there just to visit.
And I have truly experienced nothing but fair deals.
So, like I said, it's almost like family.
I'm part of the family out here. People think I work here.
Overall, the Glockner dealership, I won't deal with anyone else. I wouldn't buy a car anywhere else now. My next car will come from Glockner's.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium, where Notre Dame has just put their 4th touchdown on the board. Jonathan Major, a 1-yard run at the 7:08 mark, caps a 4-minute and 59-second 11-play drive and sets Notre Dame up with a 4-touchdown lead. We've got an injured player on the field, and we'll be back with more after this.
King's Daughters Medical Center Ohio is working to provide health care that raises the bar with experienced physicians you know, like gastroenterologist Charles Wong, treating digestive issues at our new hospital. Our advanced diagnostic equipment and passionate attention to detail allows every possibility to be explored in order to find the best treatments available. King's Daughters Medical Center Ohio is a team dedicated to world-class health care for Portsmouth.
Minford Telephone and TV, real people who love this community. They're your one-stop shop, on that you can bet. They bundle TV, phone, and high-speed internet. Affordability, dependability, just try and you will see. The local choice, the best choice. Minford Telephone and TV, the local choice, the best choice. Minford Telephone and TV.
Hey, West Portsmouth, do you know that Minix Giovanni's has the best pizza in town?
8584493.
Welcome back to Spartan Municipal Stadium. One of the Manchester players whose number we still have not been able to catch has been helped off the field and came off with assistance, but he took a long while to get up there. We hope that he is not seriously injured, but hopefully just had the wind knocked out of him or something like that. We're at the 7-minute and 8-second mark here in this ball game. Notre Dame has just tacked on their 4th touchdown of the night before the home fans. And Manchester, coming into this ball game, had high hopes that this would be their first victory against Notre Dame, as Notre Dame coming into this game had lost to Racine Southern last week 27-0, had only 82 total rushing yards from a team that made the playoffs last year and lost 2 1,000-yard rushers. And Manchester will give it a go, and moving with it up on the right side and heading up through there is Daniel Hernandez, and he gets into Notre Dame territory. So Hernandez gives Manchester some great field position with exactly 7 minutes left on the clock. The Manchester Greyhounds will take over on the Notre Dame end of the gridiron. And it'll be 1st and 10 with the ball sitting on the Notre Dame 45-yard line. High school football on the zone sent your way by Strieber Mortgage, by Shawnee State University, by the Roger W. Davis Funeral Home, and all the Zone Country locations of the Portsmouth Public Library. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. Manchester with twin receivers on either side. And they're going to go to one of those twin receivers, left side, and getting away from one and still moving forward over there and trying his best to get some headway is Daniel Hernandez. Hernandez will pick up a couple or three as Basler will bring him down after a pickup of about, we'll say now that they've placed it, about 2.5. Manchester down by 4 touchdowns will hurry up and see what they can get done. Still in at quarterback is Jordan Freeman. The same setup we have seen. In motion goes Hernandez. And the ball's on the ground on a fumble on the center exchange. This time it didn't make it to Freeman. It just came sort of wobbling out from the center. That's the 3rd time tonight that Manchester has experienced a center snap exchange problem. Twice they went to Freeman. That one didn't even make it out of the center's grasp in reality, so that cost him a down. It's now 3rd down and 9 to go, as it also cost him a yard. And the snap, and the fake, and the toss, and not even looking for the pass was Chase Darnell. Darnell had his back turned and his head was not facing the quarterback. That was a catchable ball. As Darnell was heading out to the right, and that was a catchable ball, but he was not looking in the direction of the quarterback. So it's now 4th down for Manchester, down by 4 touchdowns. Freeman is once again going to try to see if they can pull a rabbit out of their hat, as he's going to be standing, receiving the snap on the 48. He stops, he's chased, he's not got any time, and he's brought down. Hard on his case that time was Hayden Phillips. Hayden Phillips chases him down and rides him down like they're at the rodeo. And so a loss on downs turns the ball over to Notre Dame, as that plan didn't work at all. 5:34 to go, Notre Dame gets the ball back, and they've got real good field position, and all they need is a couple of first downs to pretty well suck the life out of Manchester's hopes in this ball game. The ball will be sitting on the Manchester 47. In motion goes Phillips. Kaiser gets an opening. He's through. He's broken out. He is away from everybody. And that one, a 47-yard run for Kaiser. As Kaiser, the 5'8" sophomore, shows his scoring prowess with a 47-yard TD, capping what obviously we can all figure out is a one-play 47-yard drive that took 10 seconds off the clock. So Notre Dame looking probably to just try to eat some time, instead decided to serve up some points. And they will try to kick now and see if they can tack onto that. And the kick is up and and it's good. And so with 5:24 to go in the ball game, Notre Dame is now up 34-0. Back with a kickoff right after this.
A night of family entertainment awaits you at the Portsmouth Cinema 8. We're always improving. More games, better movies, delicious concessions, online ticket sales, and updates on Facebook as well. To make your experience better, we now have all 8 theaters in digital DLP with Dolby Surround Sound. Plus, you can watch your next digital 3D movie here. All the entertainment you need at Portsmouth Cinema 8. Movies will never be the same again.
Welcome back to high school football on the Zone. Notre Dame has just gone up 34-0, and the rule in high school football these days is that if a team is ahead by 30 or more points in the second half, the clock will run. So Manchester could find themselves in a we're running out time situation more quickly than they thought they did. They lost that ball on downs, and Notre Dame did not waste any time as Sam Kaiser took the ball 47 yards on a one-play 47-yard drive, only knocked 10 seconds off of the clock for Notre Dame. And the Titans will kick off here, sitting on top of a very good position right now. The kick will be a line driver, and it's muffed, and it's going as they touched it and picked up down about the 9 and heading out on the right side. And when it rains, it pours. As Young is going to be taken down about the 9-yard line, and as I said, when it rains, it pours. That ball slipped through the hands, and they had to chase back because they had nobody farther behind. And Notre Dame had plenty of fleet feet heading down that way. So the Manchester Greyhounds, now with 4:58 to go, and they've got the ball on their own 10-yard line. And the clock will be running the rest of the way unless Manchester breaks one loose and scores. And a field goal will not make the clock stop. They have to score a touchdown for it to be under 30 points. And moving his way out on the right side and still heading out through there and still driving. Nice bit of ball carrying that time for Manchester. And there is a flag down about the 20-yard line. And we'll see what Rick Merb has to say about this. We've got a personal foul against Manchester. So when it rains, it pours. They get a nice gain out of that, and then they go back. They'll head back half the distance. The clock will continue to run, and things are just not going Manchester's way. And Manchester will, well, they're looking around and trying to see what they can do. Somewhat of a confused situation out there right now as the clock continues to go and is now below the 4-minute mark. And they are taking their own sweet time about getting the play off. They're going to run out of time on this particular play. And Freeman will give it. And they'll try the left side, and Notre Dame is all over that one. Big, big, big response for Notre Dame as carrying the ball over there that time. Levi Francis doesn't find much room. Basler on the tackle. Manchester out to about the 15. It'll be 2nd down and 5. And again, the clock is the friend of Notre Dame and the enemy of Manchester with a 34-point difference. High school football on the Zone presented your way by Portsmouth Cinema 8, by Minix's Giovanni's, by Minford Telephone and TV, and by H. Powell Insurance. Got some room on the right side, got enough for the first down, and then some, and on his way out of bounds. Nice run that time by Freeman, who, as I mentioned last week, had 6 rushes for 136 yards and 2 56-yard TDs. Maybe he had big screen TVs too. I don't know. So he runs out of bounds. And it'll be 1st down and 10 to go. Ball on the 41-yard line. And Freeman will take it. He'll toss left. Big run. Lots of room. Heading down on the left. Could be some room. Brought down out of bounds and knocked out of bounds. Slowed down by Johnson. Then knocked out of bounds finally by Lansing. A nice little naked screen over there on the left side that went into the hands of Brian Young. Another first down for Manchester. And with 2 minutes to go, they move the sticks. And the clock continuing to run as Manchester will now set on the Notre Dame 18-yard line. And Freeman will give and keep and cut, and he's got room. He's heading toward the stick, and touchdown, Manchester. So much for the running clock. And with a minute and 30 seconds to go in this ball game, Manchester closes the 30-point gap on an 18-yard run by Jordan Freeman, who went onto that right side and picked his way down through there. 18 yards for Freeman. And now they will kick the extra point, and we'll see Franklin, the man that does that usually. And Franklin calling out, they're going to get called for a delay of game here if they're not careful. We have an injury. Okay. So there is a player down on the field, so they're taking time to care for him. And they're going to help him up, and he makes his way off. And that's Freeman that was down. That would be a major loss for Manchester for the rest of the season. And so now Franklin will give it a kick. Jordan Franklin will, the senior. And we will see what happens. The snap's high. The kick is up. It's way high and long enough and no good. Over apparently outside the plane of the uprights, as he certainly had a long enough and high enough kick. So as they come back up the field, the score is Notre Dame 34, Manchester 6. Back with the kickoff right after this.
The library isn't just a source for books anymore. We are activities. We are local history and genealogy. We are entertainment. We are DVDs and books on CD. We are online. We are education. We are mobile. We are everywhere. We are still books and reading. We are here for our community. We are here for you.
We are the Portsmouth Public Library.
I love the library.
Back at Spartan Stadium, where Manchester has just scored 6 points. The score is 34-6. And Notre Dame will get the ball on the kickoff as Manchester scores for their first time tonight. We have a minute and 38 seconds to go. Manchester puts together a drive that began on their own 10, a 90-yard drive. I don't know how many plays it was, but it took 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Of course, the clock was running the whole time. And they get it across the goal line. We would not be surprised to see an onside kick here, although Notre Dame is still up by 4 touchdowns. And it's going to be short and bobbled and then picked up and on his feet and continuing to go with it and driving with several of the Greyhounds hanging off of him. As good hands come about there, and Notre Dame will get the ball. First down and 10 to go with a minute and 23 seconds left in this contest. on their own 49-yard line. High school football on the zone, sent your way by Rallies, by Pro Pest Control, by Osco Industries, by Jason Bentley, your Midland agent, by Gutter Pro, and by Oak Tree Construction. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. Notre Dame keeping it on the ground, and Cassidy is going to be knocked back into the backfield, and he's going to be brought down there for a big loss for Notre Dame. Drew Cassidy, number 13, a 5'7", 120-pound freshman. As Notre Dame running some fresh faces and fresh jerseys in with a 34-6 lead. And so Cassidy will send his team up. Got wings on either side. And they'll go left, and Manchester will go in. Hard in on there that time as they come in hard on Hayden Baker. High school football on the zone presented by Rudity's Driving School, by King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, by Real Estate Gallery, by Toro Loco. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. We also presented by Jackpot Skilled Stop Games, who wish all of our players the best of luck. So thanks to our sponsors. The clock down to 8 seconds, and that should do it, folks. Notre Dame can stand and wait, and that will do it. Our final score here tonight at Spartan Stadium will be in the favor of the Notre Dame Titans. And the final score, Notre Dame 34 and Manchester 6. We'll be back with tonight's wrap-up when we return right after this.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes or if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance.
Howell Insurance Agency, serving you for over 75 years.
Here at the Roger W. Davis Funeral Home, we are not only here for you in your time of need, but we're also here to help our neighbor, to serve our community, and to help guide our youth. We do our best each day to make our area a great place to call home, and each year we give you a time to gather and remember your loved ones. To all area teams in the upcoming sports season, remember, the difference between impossible and possible lies in your determination. Good luck from all of us at the Roger W. Davis Funeral Home.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
for the 7:30, please.
Enjoy the movie. It's a lot cleaner. Yeah, they actually cycle movies faster here.
The bassoon look like a box of chocolates.
Have you seen a really big snake? I hate snakes.
None shall pass.
Wheelersburg Cinema, still bringing movies to life.
Manchester by the score of 34-6. And in our ball game tonight, good defensive effort by Notre Dame, holding Manchester to no scores after they had scored 27 points last week against the Green Bobcats. While Notre Dame had lost to Racine Southern, the defense came through in a big way and managed to hold Manchester down to just 6 points, and that coming late in the ball game after Notre Dame was already ahead by 30 points. So a real good job by the Titan defense. Because of that, we're going to present our Defensive Player of the Game award, sponsored by the Portsmouth Cinema. And our Defensive Player of the Game tonight goes to a man who was hanging on a whole lot of people while he was working on the defense tonight. And we're going to present that award tonight for Notre Dame to senior C.J. Smith. The 6'2", 190-pound senior was all over the place tonight. And so C.J. Smith, number 54, will be our Defensive Player of the Game, sponsored tonight by Portsmouth Cinema. Then let's look at things, and if you were watching and listening at all, you got a pretty good idea of what was going on our Player of the Game award, presented by Toro Loco in Portsmouth. Great Mexican and American food, and a good place to stop in before the game or any time, as a matter of fact. And Michael Collins, with over 150 yards on the evening, really came through when Notre Dame was needing him. He was running right, he was running left, he was running here, he was running there. Collins had a 10-yard touchdown run with 2:01 to go there in the third quarter. He had over 150 yards on the evening, and that was really more important toward Notre Dame's ball control than anything else on the night, as he ran with authority even when people were hanging off of him. So we're going to present our Player of the Game award, sponsored by Toro Loco. That's going to be to number 12 for Notre Dame. That's Michael Collins, the 6-foot-tall, 175-pound junior. Congratulations on behalf of Toro Loco to Michael Collins. And that does things pretty much here from Spartan Stadium. Notre Dame goes up to Grove City next week to take on Grove City Christian, and we will see the Titans back here at Spartan Municipal Stadium 2 weeks from tonight, when we'll have the Chesapeake Panthers come running in to see what they can do about Notre Dame, as the Titans and the Panthers will be dealing with each other, and we'll have that game for you right here on the Zone. Our next broadcast will be this coming week, next Saturday night, when the Portsmouth Trojans will take on the Wheelersburg Pirates from Ed Miller Stadium in Wheelersburg. We hope that you will join us for that, so please make sure that you tune in, and then be back with us 2 weeks from tonight for Notre Dame and the Chesapeake Panthers. Our game tonight, presented to you by King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, Real Estate Gallery Incorporated, Falcon1.net, Minford Telephone, and Minford TV. Halftime, presented by Trinidad Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Our Player of the Game award, presented by Toro Loco, and the Defensive Player of the Game, presented by Portsmouth Cinema. And thanks to all of our sponsors: Lightning Lube, Bob Evans of New Boston, Stoltz Pharmacy in Wheelersburg, Sisters Dairy Barn, Attorney Eddie Edwards, ADS Auto and Tire, Advance 360, Atomic Credit Union, Brian Davis for Scioto County Commissioner, Dan Cassidy and everybody at Barron & Murphy Insurance, Donnie Martin Heating and Cooling, Bob and Floyd's Tire Service, Desco Federal Credit Union, the Glockner Family of Dealerships, Goodwill, Gutter Pro, H. Powell Insurance, Jackpot Skilled Stop Games, Jason Bentley for Midland Insurance, Minix's Giovanni's, Portsmouth Cinema 8, Oak Tree Construction, Osco Industries, the Portsmouth Public Library, Roger W. Davis Funeral Home, Pro Pest Control, the Salvation Army, Rallies, Randy Mattis Motors, Shawnee State University, your hometown university, Streber Mortgage, Rudity's Driving School, Sherman Cricker Insurance, Sunspot Tanning, King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, Sweet Confections Bakery, Stakers Sales and Service, Terry Johnson for 90th District State Representative, the Battery Terminal, the UPS Store, and Wheelersburg Cinema. Thanks to our sponsors and thanks to you for being there. Want to remind you that Notre Dame raises their record to 1-1 while knocking Manchester from the ranks of the undefeated. The final score here tonight, Notre Dame 34, Manchester 6. I'm Tony Lavender for Zone Sports. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and so long.